Hello. Hello everyone. And welcome to the stream. People in the chat, can you hear me? Do your magic, let me know if the levels and the music and everything's good. Welcome. Welcome everyone to what I think will be a very, very relaxing stream, I think. It's Friday night. I don't have a date. So we're here. I thought the flat was going to be empty, but actually, oh, I can hear my own echoes coming from a window somewhere. Let me just mute this boy. Yeah, I don't have a date. I thought the flat was going to be empty, but in fact, one of my flatmates has since come home. So yeah, let's just hang out. I think it's probably going to be pretty chill. Probably not going to have that many people. It should be like really relaxing. Hi Zoe. Nice to have you in the chat as well. This is your music in the background. This is Zoe Blade's album Winter, which you can hear behind us. Oh, Fern says you have a date with 153 people. Thank you, everyone. Well, I've dressed up. Have you? Well, yeah, welcome along. I thought for that was close. I thought for tonight's stream I'd go through some of the comments and the feedback and my notes to self about the witchcraft video, and also just like hang out and talk to the chat. I mean, I guess that usually I do a stream like every 2 weeks where I talk about the last two videos, but there's only done one since then. But I just felt like streaming. Like last time we had a stream together, it was so much fun. So I thought, go on, let's have another one tonight as well. It's a Friday night. Tort says I'm wearing my best sweatpants for this date. Well, I'm sweatpants too from the waist down. It's glamour from here up. So, yeah, welcome along everyone. It's really nice to see the chat scrolling past. Charles Nord says, what lights do you use? Those are just LED strips in the background, and this is a LIFX bulb up here, which I can control from my phone. No, I have not seen Nat's new vid. I just saw a few minutes ago when I was getting my makeup on that it was out, so I'll probably watch that like tomorrow morning, to be honest. Yes, Vixel, I do need to open my mail. I know this. I've got a big pile of mail. You can probably see it. In fact, you can probably see it behind me on that bottom shelf there. It's just covered in packages that have been sent to the PO box. Only one of which is for Hbomb. So if there's any Hbomb guy fans out there, send him some love, because he's going to come down to London. We're going to open it together on stream. So yeah, I'm basically waiting for him to be free. He's hard at work on videos at the moment, and then I'm going away at the end of November. So he's hopefully going to find some time in November to come down. But and we'll open them. But it's entirely up to him. Like it's his schedule. So. Yes, we will open the mail on stream, I think. Yeah. Yes, there is a PO box. Every time someone's like, I didn't know, don't worry, the address is in the doobly-doo. It's in the description, so yeah, if you want to send me stuff through the PO box, please do. Please don't send anything perishable in case it is months until Hbomb gets down, and yeah, probably don't send me books because I won't have time to read them. But other than that, please do. I'll tell you what, we usually start the streams with me doing a little bit of like an almost ASMR style reading of the PO box address. So let's do that now. If you want to send me something to the PO box, the address is Olly and Hbomb's PO Box 2662 Woodford Green, United Kingdom 1G8 1SP. Actually, hang on a minute. I don't think that's right. I think I need to check. Maybe it is. I didn't think so. Right. Let's try that again, because I got the postcode wrong. If you would like to send me something through the PO box, the address is Olly and Hbomb's PO Box 2662 Woodford Green, United Kingdom IG8 1SP. And I will now change that in the description and fix my microphone so it doesn't fall over. I will now amend that in the description so nobody else gets it wrong. There we go. And there we are. Grand. The M in ASMR does stand for male. Yeah, I know people are like, don't write the word bomb on a package, probably a good idea. So you can just write like Harris or Harry if you want. Thank you for that super chat. Amelia Jane says, so about this daddy kink stuff, I don't know about what about it. Thank you to the people who've noticed the eyeshadow. So I guess let's explain that at the top of the stream before we dive into anything else. I guess like, so I started getting ready for the stream at like 7. I started getting ready like really early. So I also just had a bunch of eyeshadow left over from the witchcraft video that I didn't get to use, and the I bought it in Brighton, a little like 4-pack of like different colours, and I only used the black and the silver in and the white in the witchcraft video. So I was like, you know, I've got all this makeup and all this time, I might as well. I know who's going to appreciate it is the chat on the stream, so why not? Why not try it out? Never really done it recreationally before. I thought, why the bloody hell not? So let's do it. Thank you, Anthony Peone, for that super chat. Bless up from Pittsburgh. Wow, cool, awesome. I don't think I've ever been to Pittsburgh, but yeah, thank you to everyone who noticed the eyeshadow. I thought, why not have a bit of fun? Kaya Baber or Barber says, how much of your recent style is Nat influenced? I don't know like how that is like quantified, like what are the units of influence, but you know, it's fair to say she's pretty inspirational. So yeah, I've got my absolutely vital protein shake. So that is pretty that's pretty gross, to be honest. I'm on a new gym routine at the moment that requires more protein. So yeah. So there's a super chat that just went flying past. Cyclops Parker, thank you very much, says, I just wanted to say your more ambitious videos have been amazing lately. The one on depression, the one on witchcraft. Do you have any more higher production videos planned? Planned? How much do I really have planned? Well, no, actually, I guess the next video, I keep forgetting that you haven't seen that, because I'm kind of like creatively done with it. Yeah, the next video I've got coming out does have some production value in. I don't want to spoil anything, because I think the opening of that video will be quite a surprise. So, yeah, yeah. And then I was writing something today which will involve some costumes and some well, maybe characters, maybe aspects. Like it depends. That's kind of partially what it's about, but yeah, that's the plan. I don't really know what the next like couple after this one that comes out will be, because I haven't written them yet. But yeah. Ugh. Oh, I guess some people have seen. So if you know the British YouTuber Tom Ridgewell, I have a little cameo in one of his latest vlogs, because he's lending me a shirt which I actually have back there still. I haven't managed to give it back to him yet. I've DM'd him like, when do you want it back, and he just hasn't answered me, so possibly he doesn't want it back. But he's lent me a truly horrible hentai shirt, which I can show you for a character. But first, Alison Thimeshk, sorry I don't pronounce that right, says, love your videos, Ollie. US people vote on November 6th. Yeah, please do. Hentai shirt. Brace yourselves. And if you have any children, send them out of the room. There. It's truly, truly hideous. Whoa. Let's tuck that back away. let's never look at that again. It's truly, truly horrible. It's for a character, so you'll see. You'll see. You'll see what it's for. He's also lent me the one other item of clothing, which is not as bad, almost as bad, which is just down there on the floor, which I won't. No, go on, I will, because you're the stream, and you're the crew that comes out for the stream and is like always loyal and always there. So I'll show you this hat as well. So he's also lent me this Deadpool hat, which is for the same character. So yeah, that's. I won't tell you anything about the character, but that's the costume at least. Yeah, it's gonna be good fun. Inas, thank you for that super chat. Says, I've been watching since your first videos. And I want to say that I disagree with a lot you say. I super duper appreciate you and your views, and I love your recent style. Thank you very much. I can't, if you've been watching since like the first stuff I did, wow, it's nearly like 6 years ago now. You must have been around a long time. Like, wow, thanks for sticking around all that time. Chad cosplay. Sabrina Granger says, I can already imagine the fan art for that character. Well, I hope not, because it would be a lot of effort to draw all of those Ahegao faces. So, that's enough. That's enough messing around. Why don't we talk about the witchcraft video, which came out a week ago, and I'm pretty pleased with it. It's done pretty well. I guess like I was pretty pleased with the production values. My like notes to self about that, that was good. I think one of the challenges about filming outside and filming via firelight was that it kind of went on quite late, so we had to like be pretty quick with the filming. So I could only get like a couple of takes in of each paragraph, which isn't ideal. Usually I like to do like 3 or 4. So there were a couple of like times when I just like said the wrong thing and slipped up. So one minor thing that nobody mentioned but it's stuck in my mind is I said when the southern states lost the American Civil War at the end of 1865, and it actually wasn't at the end, it was actually like at the first half of the year, but that was the best take we got, and I was like, I'm just gonna have to use it. Like, so there are a couple of little things like that. So the production value I was generally like pretty happy with, but that was one challenge I think of filming the outdoor stuff. The indoor stuff I'll tell you about in a minute, but first, Tom Robinson, thank you for that super chat. Thank you, Olly, for the many years of free education and equipping me to teach my centrist friends why their assumptions are wrong. Much love. I hope you're not Tommy Robinson, in which case I doubt you are if you're watching this. But thank you, Tom Robinson, who is not his unfortunate similar named companion. And one more super chat. Ian Campos says, greetings from Brazil, big fan of your videos. 2 days from now I have the high school exams to get into university. Really think about choosing the philosophy course. Wow. Well, good luck, Ian. Good luck to you, and indeed all of Brazil, but especially you, Ian. Good luck, and I hope you get the results you want. So the indoor filming for the witchcraft stuff with the taking the clothes off and the blood, that came about because so originally I was planning to do a video on Federici and Caliban and the Witch, and I was chatting to a journalist actually who I probably can't name, or well I could, but I won't give them away. But a journalist who was actually at a conference a while ago that Federici was speaking at, and I said I'm doing this video on Federici, and she said that she went to the talk that Federici gave, and a lot of the kind of atmosphere around it was pretty turfy, and I was like, oh yeah, of course, like. Reproductive history, like if I'm not careful, like the last thing I want, especially just after the transphobia video, is a bunch of TERFs going, hey, this is a really good resource. So I was like, balls. So I was like, I need to include a big disclaimer in this about like don't use this as an excuse to be a TERF. And so I just wrote like the 4 paragraphs of the text of that little indoor bit. And I was like, no, this is good, but it's like, it's really dry. It's really, really dry. The actual text of it. And I was like, how can I make this more interesting? And I was like, well, what's the message I'm trying to get across here is like, civilized, sophisticated things can get barbaric really fast. And I was like, ooh, what if I was just like taking off my clothes and covering myself in blood and using a sword at that time? I was like, okay, that'd be good. And originally it was just going to be like for laughs. It was going to be like a funny moment. But when we actually filmed it, and I watched it back, I was like, there's actually something quite uncomfortable about this. There's something like surreal and weird about just like the one solid... We did it in one take. It's all one unbroken take. We actually did 2 takes of it, but it's one unbroken shot. And I like keep eye contact with the camera the whole time as like the blood's going on. And I was like, there's actually something quite disturbing about this. And then Zoe provided me with this incredibly disturbing like music that was going to go in the background. I was like, okay, I'm actually going to make this the disturbing bit of the video, like the scary bit, and the actual like witchy fire stuff is going to be a relief when you cut back to that. So that was fun. That's how that whole sequence came about. And as I said, we did 2 takes of that, of which we used the second. The first one, there was just a slight flub of the lines right at the end. So I went and had to like take a shower, and then reapply all my face makeup, and then like put the clothes back on again. And then do the whole thing again. And Ben and Tim, who run the studio that I was in, had like the bucket of blood and the sword, and they were taking stuff off me. So that one was really good. Sorry, yes, Zoe says it was Nina who provided that music in the background. Nina Richardson, who provided the music for that particular section. Zoe and Nina did the soundtrack between them. So yeah, that was how that whole sequence came about, and it was one of my favourite bits. Couple of super chats. Thank you very much to John Allen, who just says, love you, Ollie. And to Thomas O'Malley, who says, how much has reading, acting, or plays contributed to your understanding of theory? How can a novice get into plays? I love your videos. Keep them up. I guess, like, so in my video on the philosophy, just off the top of my head, in my video on the philosophy of Antifa, I cite a play by W.H. Auden and Christopher Isherwood called On the Frontier, which I was in, which has like I think makes a very important philosophical point about anti-fascism and the villain having a choice about what he does. So that was quite cool. And how can a novice get into plays? I mean, you could do like Amdram, but if you want to be like a professional actor, then in the UK, like drama school's still the established way to go. So yeah. Daniela Alejandra has super chatted me 2,500 CLP, and I don't know what currency that is, and therefore like don't know whether you've just bought me a coffee or a house. But either way, thank you, Daniela. Says, I'm reading Federici in my book club. I love the controversy on Marx and postmodernism. Love from Chile. Thanks for everything. Well, my pleasure, Daniela, and I hope you enjoy it. Oh, there's the new 3 hours video as well. Cool. Ugh. Gross. OT says, are you still uploading every Friday? No, it's usually every other Friday. I do a main episode and I just stream when I can, and when I'm interested. When I feel the need to stream, I do. Anyway, what else? I had some other some good feedback I wanted to get to about the witchcraft one. I suppose one of which is I had some feedback from actual historians of the medieval era who pointed out and linked me especially to our Ask a Historian, who pointed out that Federici's historical analysis is a little bit weak in places, a little bit weak source. So I read that whole page. Thank you to the people who linked me to that. That was really interesting. And the really interesting point they made was that she's not really a historian interrogating primary sources. She's like a philosopher doing philosophy with bits of history, and I think the general consensus is that she could have done like the history stuff better, and as a result, my video, like, although the production values I said I was very happy about, I think academically it fell a little bit short of what I usually like to do. I don't consider it to be my best work. I think I'm pretty happy with it, but I think academically it could have been better. I suppose because I was trying to use Federici's thesis to do philosophy with, one of the main points I wanted to make was like, don't be a TERF. You can do reproductive analysis without necessarily devolving into turfitude. I'm happy that I hit that philosophical beat, but I think historically it could definitely have been better. So one of the things that some people pointed out was there's like a 100-year gap between the end of the Black Death and the witch hunts, which is like, so I kind of skimmed over the history quite a lot there, which I think is definitely a fair point. So thank you to all the historians who got back to me about that and were like, you could have done better here. I definitely hear that and I appreciate it. I think you're right. I was worried that Tristan from Step Back History was just going to wade in and be like, here we go, like 30-minute reply. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to get, this is how I milkshake dark finally. It was over witchcraft. So thank you to everyone who pointed out that the history could have been better, and I agree. Here's some super chats before they disappear. They're scrolling past so fast. Christopher Smith says, when are you doing all your Patreon questions? I'll do them right now, Christopher. As far as I know, I've only got the one, but if you've sent me another one, then I'll try and get to that too. And Juso Vilmanen, thank you, says, have you looked into spiral dynamics, integral theory, or the Zeitgeist movement? I have not, I'm afraid. So, yeah. There we go. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the witchcraft stuff. Oh, there was one other bit of feedback I wanted to touch on before we do the Patreon questions, or patron question. As far as I'm aware, I only have the one. If you're a patron and you've sent me another one and you're entitled to ask me a question, then please do. I mean, you could just put it in the chat and I'll probably answer it anyway. But so I got some feedback from like actual witches who. So do you remember at one point? Maybe I can even show you. There we go. I can show you the bit where I talk about magic is the refusal of work in action. I don't even know if I can find it, but it was anyway. It was the green bit. Do you remember the green bit? Isn't that a lovely place to pause? There we go, that's a nice one. So I talked about magic being the refusal of work in action, according to Federici. And quite a few actual witches got back to me and were like, magic is not, like, no work. It's not the refusal of work. Like, you have to, like, sacrifice stuff. And I think the general consensus from people for whom magic is, like, an important spiritual practice is that I could have, like, researched the actual magic stuff more. And could have like dived into that a little bit more. And like fair cop, I think maybe I should have said the refusal of capitalist work in action. So yeah, I'll definitely cop to like I could have, because that was a whole area. I was like, if I go into like what is magic to people today, then I'm just going to be like biting Angie Speaks' whole video about it, which I linked in the suggested reading, and also like it's just going to make the video huge, and I don't have time to go into it. So yeah. Yeah, I definitely think I could have done like more, done more of the magic sense and the history sense as well. So, couple more super chats. Edith Spencer, thank you very much. Says I just discovered your channel. Ontology is really hard to do when you're dealing with flesh and blood instead of just text. Thanks from Portland. Oh, I'm guessing that's a reference to the transphobia video. In which case, thank you very much. I'm glad that you thought that was good. Yeah, I really wanted to get that one down. Alexandrite, thank you as well, says love you and your hard work. Oh, wonderful. Did I have oh yeah, like I had a couple of other like notes to self as well. So at one point I said witches are a non-consumer category. I quoted an anti-fascist witch who said that, and a few people were like, it's not really anti-consumer because like witches are not only something that like can be used to sell stuff, like witches can be like a brand you can sell like pointy hats and crystals and stuff, but also like there are like witchy shops where people like buy crystals and astrology gear and all the rest of it. And I was like, okay, yeah. I suppose it's not like no witch has ever been a consumer of anything. It's more like that. I think the point that the person I was quoting was trying to make was like, to be a witch is to, in some sense, be opposed, I think, in the context to like a particular view of the natural world as a resource, rather than something to be celebrated and managed and communicated with. So I think that was more what they were getting at. But I'll cop to like that could have been clearer. Gabriella Shimabuko, thank you for that super chat, says, love this content. Also, I'd love to know your thoughts on Latin American decoloniality. Haven't read a whole lot of it. Probably the only book I've read on it would be George Chicarella Maher's Decolonizing Dialectics. In fact, that's not... No, I'm getting two George Chicarella Maher books confused. I'm getting Building the Commune and Decolonizing Dialectics conflated there. So in which case, yes, that just shows the depth of my ignorance, Gabriella. I'm sorry. Ryan Marufi says, how should a history book be read? Thoroughly, I suppose. I'm actually reading a history book at the moment about the history of anti-Judaism in Western thought, which is quite cool. I might just change the music because this is a little grim. It's great, Zoe, but it's just a little... For right now, I just want something a little more chill. I might put on your album, Hello Calm. It's one I used on the stream before. I quite like it. Here we go. Nice. That's better. And where's my chat gone? There it is. Super duper. Nice. What else did I have? Oh, I didn't define feudalism in the video. That's true. Again, I think it would have made it real big. But I admit that it could have been. I could have gone into that a bit more as well. Yeah. As I say, like I think academically the video fell a little short of what I like it to be. Something else somebody pointed out was that I didn't I guess I can even show you this. Oh yeah, there it is. I saved this one. I didn't mention like the history of anti-Semitism and how that played into it. And this is something that I'm learning a little bit more now. I've literally just started this book about the history of anti-Judaism and Western thought, but it's something I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about. I was kicking myself because I actually had there was actually like a couple of sentences that I had and I recorded, but I cut for time about especially how like devil worship was used as a charge against Jewish people for centuries, like before the witch hunts. I focused more on like how they developed after. And I was making a comparison to lynchings about how they've moved into that. But yeah, in hindsight, I really wish I kept that line in because a few people came back to me about like, you should have mentioned the anti-Semitism stuff. And I think that's definitely an absolutely like fair cop. That's another way I think the video could have been better. And that wouldn't have taken much. It wouldn't have bloated it too much. That could have been good. I also didn't, I don't know if I have this in the saved comments, but did I... Oh yes, this is yes. So somebody made the interesting distinction between high magic and low magic, and how there was still like the magic. Oh, you could argue that like transubstantiation, for instance, is a kind of magic. And yes, that's a really interesting point that I wish I had made. And again, that would have made the video better and more comprehensive and thorough, and also wouldn't have bloated it too much. Yeah. So yeah, I guess like YouTube's I've come to view in the last few months making YouTube videos more as art than I have as giving lectures. And that I think has helped me realise that they're like a process, like in a way they're like in a way they're never really done, never really finished. I just sort of stopped making them. there's always something more I could have done, or something I could have done differently that would have made them better, or some image or something that I wanted to use but couldn't because I didn't have the resources or whatever. So yeah. Yeah, I guess like it's an ongoing process, and as I say, I think I could have done the witchcraft one better, pushed the boat out aesthetically, but maybe that. I mean, the bit that I'm most proud of with it was that middle bit with the taking off the clothes and the blood. That's my favourite bit of that video, and the recurring phone call joke, which then because like the rule of three, right, in comedy, like first time, second time, and then the third time has to be different. First two times it's funny, third time it's not funny. It's like, oh, okay, like be careful. Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me of something that I will get to shortly, but I did say I would answer the Patreon question first. And I know that Evie Rosk has been waiting for me to answer this question for months. If you don't know, patrons at a certain level on my Patreon page get to ask me a question that I will answer on the stream. And Evie Rosk, here we go, chose to ask, I wanted to know how you think the methods of organising have changed for our generation. Also, congratulations on playing Professor X on NerdSync. Thank you very much. For those of you who didn't know, I did play Professor X in a video that NerdSync did a while ago. Yeah, that was really fun. But how do I think the methods of organising have changed? I don't know. I mean, like, it's like, what is the impact of the internet bit? It's kind of a big question. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be the internet, but like, I see a lot more spontaneous organising now, and I don't really have like. I don't really have like a basis of comparison, but I see a lot of spontaneous organising. So I have friends sometimes who are like who will organise like a protest at the last minute. Yeah, so I guess like or like Facebook chat or something. I see a lot of people using Signal now, the kind of secure app. I don't know how secure or not Signal really is, but I see a lot of people using that. So yeah, I guess I don't really have much of a basis of comparison, Evie Rosk, which is a shame. All I know is like how things in my very limited circle get organised now. I'm like, to be honest, like I'm a little bit. I need to be careful what I say here, but sometimes a little bit distrustful of like Facebook groups who are trying to organise stuff, because I'm like, anyone could join this. Like you know, we had that big list in the UK that was released recently of all the left-wing groups that undercover police officers infiltrated, and I was just like, if you don't have good like digital security, you know, you're asking for trouble, aren't you? I was about to tell a story, but I don't think I can tell you that. But yeah. That's my answer to that anyway. And I was gonna tell you something. I was gonna tell you something about the joke, the phone call joke, and it's completely gone out of my head now. Yeah, but I can tell you something fun about the you know the first phone call joke in the witchcraft video where it's Ben Shapiro. Yeah, originally that in the script and even up to filming it, it was going to be the Koch brothers. But in editing, I changed it to Ben Shapiro because I was just like, maybe a few people know who the Koch brothers are, and Ben Shapiro is just like inherently funnier. So yeah, I changed it to him instead. Yeah, that was good. So there was another. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. So this person on Twitter. So the recurring joke where like Ben Shapiro or whatever called me, and I kept saying, at the risk of attracting the wrong kind of internet audience, you've got to say like Marx wasn't 100% right about everything, or postmodernists aren't 100% right about everything, or Marxist feminists aren't 100% right about everything. You can see this, yes. So this person was like, well, why say it if it's going to attract the wrong kind of people? And I was like, so I need to be able to say, I knew when I was writing the script that I needed to be able to say in the video that like this is like a critique of Marx, because one of the criticisms I get a lot on my channel is that you want to like cite Marx, and you're never critical of Marx or whatever. And I'm like, here's a big thing that like Marx could have talked about more and didn't. But at the same time, I know that if you're irresponsible about that kind of thing, if you're like, hey, like Marx was wrong about this, and you're not kind of careful in the way you put it, then you're gonna have a lot of people coming in and be like, yeah, he was, and you know what else? Like, have you heard of like white genocide or whatever? It's like, oh, come on. And I needed to be able to say like Marxist feminism, in the wrong light can lead to turpitude. So I needed to be able to say like Marxist feminism isn't 100% right, but also at the same time know that to say on YouTube like Marxist feminism can be wrong is to bait, is to like try and say a little bit more than that. So I needed at the same time to be able to say there's a space for this and there's a space for doing it well, but at the same time like I know that I need to be careful about attracting the wrong kind of audience or like just making that critique responsibly. Again, like with like saying postmodernism isn't 100% right about everything. Yes, like there's criticisms of postmodernism you can make, but like if you go around saying like postmodernists are like wrong about stuff and you're not careful, then you're gonna have a lot of like of right wing people being like, oh yeah, you know, they're ruining the West or whatever, and it's like, yeah. So Jacko says Olly is a solid 8 out of 10. Ooh, 8. Well, it's an improvement, room to improvement, something to work towards. Work towards that 10. What I'm interested, Jacko, what would I have to do to be a 10 out of 10 in your eyes? What would I have to work on still? Okay, I'm out of protein shake now, so I'm just on the water, trying to cut down on the old booze. Eight out of 10 is pretty solid, to be fair. I'll take that. You know, I have been worse. I tell you what, whilst the chat catches up with me, because as always I'm about 90 seconds ahead of you in time, while the chat catches up with me, let's light a little candle. Ooh. There we go. I'm almost out of scented candles actually. This is the last one and it's almost down. Tim Schneider says, I know you're a fan of the Doctor Strange beard. Have you considered trying to grow a full beard? I did used to have a full beard. Not like, but you know, I did used to have the full, like a Commander Riker beard. You can actually see it in some of my old videos. Very old videos. But actually, to be honest, like more recently I've been thinking, I was thinking the other day, I was like, I should shave the beard off. And then I was like, no, it's good for castings, and it's also, it also does like, it's good, it makes my chin look good, and generally is like, yeah, I think the beard is good. It just needed a trim. It was just getting a little scruffy, so I've trimmed it. But some super chats coming in. Thank you very much to Casca Ozymandias, who says Ollie's most recent video is literally his best. As we've just been discussing, I don't quite agree, but I'm really glad that you liked it, and I had a lot of fun making it at least. And Alexander Pashnin didn't have anything to say, but just very kindly donated me €1. Thank you very much. Zoe B says, "Oh no, your PO box is going to be flooded with scented candles." Great, please do send me scented candles. Like, yeah, save me buying them. Conrad Eklund says the beard makes you look more mature. It does. I think, you know, my grey hairs make me look mature enough. Maybe there's an argument to be made that I should look young while I can. You know, getting older. Being on YouTube, it ages you. Anti-Tuparainen, I'm probably mispronouncing that, so I'm sorry. Thank you for your super chat. Says, I love the witchcraft video. I just finished reading the Discworld Witches books, and they share very similar views on the societal role of witches. I've never read Terry Pratchett. Never read Discworld. Kind of like Game of Thrones. It seemed like a big thing. It took a lot of effort, and I didn't really have time. So Yeah. Maybe someday. We shall see. Whalefish says in the super chat, thank you, says, no water, no Bucky to honour your time in Fife. Buckfast is the devil's juice, man. That's bad for you. That is bad for you. I suppose also if we were in Fife, I'd only have 20 minutes left to go out and buy it because you can't buy booze after 10 p.m. in the supermarket in Fife. They just won't let you, which is... Yeah. Amelia Jane says, the beard is a good boy, very aesthetic. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. If you want me to keep it, I will. It does have its fans, the beard, and it does tend to go over well with people who I want to be attracted to me. So maybe on those grounds, I'll keep it around. As I say, it just needed a trim. It was starting to look a bit like, like a bit too much like slobbish anime nerd, and not enough like handsome Tom Hiddleston. So I trimmed it a little yesterday. Did I have any other notes to myself? Oh yeah, there was one other thing, and maybe the chat can help me with this. It was Hogwarts a private school? I said in the video that it was. I swear I remember it being a private school. I swear it is. Is it not? Because isn't there something in the first one about like, oh, I can't afford to go, and then it's like, oh, you've actually got like a whole vault full of money guarded by like vaguely anti-Semitic stereotypes of goblins. So is it not a private school? I swear it was. But even if it's not, like, point still stands. Yeah, I thought it was. Carrie Plant says yes, it was. Yeah, was it? No? Did they have to pay tuition? I mean, you know, there was magical apartheid, so it's like private in that sense, and it says like Muggles can't go, but he couldn't afford supplies. Okay, fair enough. I guess Hogwarts is funded by wizard taxes. Now people in the chat are a bit like the distinction between private and public, which I know people use in different ways. Yeah. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. That's by the by. Okay, so apparently J.K. Rowling has since clarified that there is in fact no tuition fees at Hogwarts, which is great. I mean, there's slavery, but at least there's no tuition fees. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's maybe one more thing worth touching on. Notebook said, please don't compare the witch hunts to the persecutions of black people. And yes, I suppose... Well, I like Notebook says there's a big difference between like free women being burned as witches and black slaves being lynched. And yes, I definitely agree that there is. But free black people were lynched in the US as well. So I wasn't just talking about the lynching of slaves. And I suppose the point was not really to say that the oppressions are equal. I don't even know how I would go about like doing that, but more to like make the point that savagery and modernity aren't so far apart, and the sort of the political mass killing and mass killing as a strategy of political repression beyond just the person you're killing, kind of that sort of sends a message to more people, is not something that's so unfamiliar. Because I think, certainly when I started learning about it, the witch hunt seemed very unfamiliar and far away. I'm like, oh, I don't understand like the magical worldview. And I was like, and then when I read the book about lynching, I was like, okay, this is something closer to home that I can understand, just by virtue of like having happened more recently. And being a little bit more like obvious. So yeah, that's why I made that comparison. Yeah, that's why I did it. And I've since discovered that I wasn't not the first person to make that comparison either. Apparently there are some black feminists who have made similar comparisons in the past. So yeah. Amy Crawford, thank you for your super chat. Hi from New Zealand. do you consume any RightTube content? Is it valuable to expand your critique or just exhausting? Sometimes I do. So the video on transphobia, I actually was originally going to be about the skeptic community on YouTube. So I watched a whole load of stuff about that, which I never ended up using because it ended up being about. Later on in the process, I realized, oh, actually, this is a video about transphobia. It needs to be about that instead. Yeah. Sometimes. Mike Cunningham, thank you for your super chat. Just says, "You're the best, Ollie." No, you're the best, Mike Cunningham. And Liam Marley says, "I have to go to bed, but I love you and you're doing very well. Eat your greens." Yes, I'm trying to eat a lot of greens. I've stepped up to a new gym routine. I've basically like doubled it. Yeah, in fact, it was because I watched Rocky Horror Picture Show the other night. And I was just like, damn, everyone in this film's in really good shape. Like Tim Curry's like looking really good in it. And like the guy who plays Rocky Horror is obviously in ridiculously good shape. Like everyone except Meatloaf and even Brad in that film is like pretty. He's not like a hench, but he's like skinny and good. Everyone except Meatloaf is in good shape in that film, and I was like, like I'm good, but I can do better. So I've doubled my gym routine. I'm going 5 times a week now instead of 3, and like doing twice as much, and like lifting twice as much in terms of like reps. So trying to get more swole. And eat better and eat a lot of protein and I'm doing something at the end of November for which I want to be in real good shape. I can't talk about, but yeah, I want to be like I want to be like cut by the end of November. Well, it's probably a little bit soon, but I'll have these next 3 weeks and do like really intense training, and then I'll have that week where I'm going away, and I'll take that week off from the gym and recover. But yeah, I'm not denying that Meatloaf is amazing. He is definitely amazing, but he's not in good shape in that film. He's not like a specimen of physical like the way Rocky Horror is. I looked up the workout routine of the guy who plays Rocky Horror on Broadway, and it's like the guy, he goes to the gym 8 times a week and eats like cups of coffee with butter in them. That's what he eats. And I'm like, okay, that's not really attainable. I can't really do that and live, but I can do a little bit better. Clara Miller, thank you for your super chat, says, "Do you believe in good and evil, or are they simplification of bigger concepts?" It's kind of a big question. I guess there's a theory of meta-ethics called natural realism, Boydian natural realism, which I studied at uni, which I found quite appealing, according to which good and evil it's like the word health. It denotes a whole cluster of different things, and we can like argue all day about what exactly belongs in that cluster and who has the power to define it. So I think that's kind of roughly where I'm at with meta-ethics. Blake Anderson, thank you for your super chat, says, "Do you think there's a trade-off between how we frame the message of progressive ideas to the general public and achieving our ideological goals?" I don't know if trade-off is the right word. Trade-off sounds like, oh, you've always got to compromise. I was reading, I'm just going to change the music, Zoe. Yeah, I was reading an interesting book recently, which you're actually on top of, the laptop, which is about anarchism and kind of anarchist theory and practice recently, rather than the kind of like famous 20th century anarchists, the more sort of recent stuff. So yeah, that it kind of touches on that a little bit, and he says that there's a need sometimes to like not reach across the aisle, but to sort of unite the left a little more, I think. And in that book about lynching I was reading, actually, there was an interesting discussion of how the NAACP and the Communist Party of the USA got cross with each other over the Scottsboro Boys trial, because the Communist Party of the USA were like, the NAACP is like too reformist. Meanwhile, the NAACP were like using red baiting and red scare tactics a lot to try and advance their admittedly like very good cause. And that was an example of where like there was a clear common goal, like get the Scottsboro Boys acquitted and have them go free. But sadly, people sort of had this fight about like reform or revolution, which I think maybe I should make a video on and I've started making some notes towards. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it for now, which are quite inchoate and half-formed, I'll admit. Toxic Banana Parties, thank you for your super chat. Possible plans to do something on contractualism, since The Good Place has made it so popular? Yeah, maybe. If I was to do it, I would probably go at it from the kind of Charles Mills, Carol Pateman angle, being like critical of contractualism. There's something about the assumption that society is based on mutual agreement that I think is worth talking about. Because I was thinking the other day, if I were to make like What Was Liberalism Part 5, which I won't, but I was like, how would I continue that series? If you've not seen my series What Was Liberalism, it was a big series I did a while ago. I think I would talk about contractualism if I were to do that. Nick Marshall doesn't have anything to add, but just thank you for your super chat, Nick. That's really, really kind. Yeah. Alexander Passionate says, Philosophy Tube, are you ever going to dunk on Sam Harris? I did it in the Witchcraft video. It was like the first thing. It's like the first thing I did was dunk on Sam Harris. I don't know, I dunk on him because I don't really do that, but yeah. I did sort of take the piss. Not even take the piss, but just like make a point, I guess, of critiquing that, or saying I didn't like it at least. Did I have any other notes to myself from the Witchcraft video? No, I don't think I did. I do have one other little note, which is thank you to all the people who have downloaded and listened to the audiobook I did. If you didn't know, I did a professional audiobook a while ago. I got hired because in my other life I'm a professional actor. I got hired to do this audiobook, and yeah, it's called Broadcast. It's by a writer called Liam Brown. It's about a YouTuber who sells his soul to, not literally, but strikes a Faustian bargain with a tech billionaire to have all of his thoughts streamed through the internet. And of course it all goes very Black Mirror and tits up. Yeah, pure coincidence they hired me to do the audiobook. I was like, did you know I was a YouTuber? And they're like, no. So yeah, that was cool. And the audiobook's now come out, so I can finally talk about it. And I've been listening to it, and I'm pretty happy with it. So thank you to all the people who downloaded it, and who sent me positive feedback about it. Guess I'll Sleep says, Audio Daddy. Yeah, if you'd like to have me in your ears talking about YouTube and YouTubing and being a YouTuber, then you can. The book is called Broadcast. It is available now from all good audiobook emporia, which is to say, Audible. And they spelled my name wrong on Audible. They spelled my surname wrong, but whatever. Nicholas Bodo says, with your next video on Immanuel Kant, are you going to bring up Kant's theories? Yes! Both his philosophy and his, his anthropology and his geography, which he actually taught a lot more, so yes. Next video is going to be about Kant. Apparently Kant is in the chat. You're not going to like this video, mate. You're not going to like it. Don't watch it. Bird Shenanigans, thank you for your super chat, says, have a nice day. You too, Bird Shenanigans. Vinicius Moraes says, are you as sweet in the book as you are here? I'm in character in the book. A lot of it's written in first person, so there's some dodgy stuff that happens. There's some sexy bits. There's some bits that aren't sexy, but which I chose to make sexy on the day. Yeah. If you wanna check it out, feel free. When is the Kant video coming out? Says QWERTY Man. It comes out a week today, and then you can have it. Yes, I think those are all the notes I had to myself. So I will probably just hang out in the chat. Mark O'Reilly, sadly not. I'm just in my own house. Jacko said, oh no, sorry, Sparrow Face says, I heard you borrowed a shirt for your Kant video. Yes, I did. I even showed it at the top of the stream. It's back there. Yeah. Randomator says, do you follow Novara Media? And if so, what do you think of their work? Also, solidarity from Newcastle. Yes, get in. I was just there last week. Can you get Natalie to come and do ContraCon? I don't think that's ever going to happen. But do I follow Navarro Media? Yeah, I dip in and out. I actually wrote an article for them a few years ago about a Marxist analysis of YouTube. So, yeah. Yeah, sometimes I dip in and out. I've actually seen Ash Sarkar in real life at an event. She didn't recognise me, so I didn't say hi. But I saw her and Aaron in real life. So, yeah. Yeah. Knowing Better says, we met at VidCon and you were the only large channel to actually give me time of day and chat with me. I'll always remember that. I remember meeting you, Knowing Better. Yeah, your channel sounded really cool. We met at that, I forget what like round table it was, but I do remember meeting you and thinking your channel sounded really cool. And like, you're like, and now you know better. So yeah, I remember meeting you too. It was cool to meet you, man. I hope the channel's going well. Dia says, do you have any advice for a date that I have in 2 hours? I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm the wrong person to ask. I asked someone on a date and a few days ago and I got shot down. So I'm the wrong person to ask. Good luck. Have fun. Be safe. Dead Owl 911. Thank you for your super chat. Says Kant was an incel. Changed my mind. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe I should have made that comparison. I feel like incels are kind of been talked about a lot recently. So I've chosen to go in a different direction with it. Still, it's like a slightly sexy direction, but not that kind of. Allegria Peter says, "Do you play D&D or any other tabletop RPGs?" I played D&D once. We all got real drunk, we didn't really play it properly. Owen Symes says, much of your philosophy is built on historical research. Ever consider a video on the philosophy of history, like how we investigate or interpret the past? Like, yeah, I've had a script about like history and the philosophy of history for ages, but I can't find a way to make it really interesting for myself. So I have ideas about it, and like it's sort of tied to the metaphysics of time, but I think I need to figure out how to present it. But yes, I think maybe I'll revisit that, Owen, off the basis of I haven't opened that little drawer in a while, but maybe I'll go back to that, and we shall see. We'll see what I can work up. Michael Reardon, thank you for your super chat, says, hey buddy, have you ever watched any of Destiny's content? He's been doing more philosophy memes now that he's done debating YouTube skeptics. I actually haven't. Like, I've heard the name mentioned, but I've yet to get around to it. It's mainly like a time thing rather than an inclination thing. So sorry. Tim Schneider and a bunch of people in the chat. Thank you for your sympathy about me getting shot down for a date. It was all very kind and gentle. Don't worry about it. There's no bad blood. It's nobody that you know. It's it's somebody that I know in London, friend of a friend. It was all very, very polite and professional. Shouldn't even be talking about that. It's a little too personal. They knew about the channel as well. They had seen some of my videos. So whoever tells you that fame is an aphrodisiac is full of crap. Mooncake Gaming says, dude, why do your eyes look so sunken? Because I'm wearing eyeshadow, dude. Because I said at the top of the stream, like, I just had like a lot of time and makeup before this stream, so I was like, why not? Why not just chuck them on? Just chuck it on and have an experiment. But yeah. Philippa Smith says, I can't believe Hbomb, a guy shot you down. That's so sad. It wasn't Hbomb. Although, you know, get him to answer his DMs so he can come down and visit me, and we'll do a stream together in November. Hopefully. If he can find the time in November, he'll come down and we'll do a stream together. Barney Webb says, do you have any advice for doing philosophy at St Andrews? Yes. My advice is, I always give the same bit of advice for people wanting to study philosophy, which is do the week 1 reading in Freshers Week, do the week 2 reading in week 1, do the week 3 reading in week 2. On top of that, the best pub is Stabco on South Street. The best snack is the vegan brownies from Taste on North Street. And you need to make sure that you have your accommodation for second year sorted by Christmas of first year, which is very, very quick. There's an accommodation crisis in St Andrews, and you need to move fast, otherwise you will be commuting from Dundee, which sucks, or you'll be living in a house full of mould, which also sucks, especially when it's like -4. So, yeah. Oh, also, get an umbrella, and make sure it's like a big fuck-off golf umbrella, not one of these like little spindly, portable daddy long legs boys. You want like a big 3-foot, like Spartan steel braced umbrella, because otherwise, as soon as there's a storm, it's just going to be destroyed, because the wind absolutely whistles down the streets in San Andreas. It's really, really windy, and if you don't have a good umbrella, then you will just have it destroyed. So get a decent umbrella. That's my advice. Also, if you find the library a little bit overwhelming and loud, the theology library off St Mary's Quad is usually pretty quiet, and it's a nice place to study. Eve Evolution, thank you for your super chat. Do you see comparison of the killings of Jews, witches, and lynchings linked to oppression, hiding spiritual gifts from higher power / other dimensions? I'm not quite sure how to pass the grammar of your question there, Eve. But yeah, if you're asking about comparisons between witch hunts and lynchings, that I can do. That I did. Christopher Smith says, since you're a good full-blooded Englishman, what's your best Welsh joke? You also have another Patreon question. I don't have any jokes to make about Welsh people. Welsh people rule. Anthony Hopkins is Welsh. Let me just check my Patreon for you, Chris, and I'll see if... Of course, the internet's being really slow because I'm sucking it all up to stream into your ears. But I will check. Did you send it to me like as a message, Chris? We'll find it for the end of the stream, Chris. Don't worry. But yeah, just to make sure, like, I want to send it to me again on as a Patreon message, and then I can make sure that I get it. Yeah, just send it to me again as a message on Patreon, Chris, and I'll make sure that gets it before the end of the stream. The end of the scream. Spirit Hawk says, have you met Nat, Hbomb, and Lindsay in person? I have met Nat and Lindsay. I've yet to meet Hbomb. I will hopefully meet him very soon. In fact, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, depending on his availability. But hopefully he's going to come down to London and stay with me, and we'll do a stream. But yes, Lindsay and Nat and me, yeah, we've met. Amelia Jane says, these streams are better for my anxiety than yoga, honestly. Mine too. Well, I find them very relaxing. The first few streams I did, I was like, yeah, really stressed, but I found it quite nice. Yeah. Chat's scrolling fast, so fast now. Sabrina Granger says, "I'm glad my day ended early and I could catch this live." Oh, I'm sorry that it ended early. Did it end early, like in a nice way or in a bad way? I hope in a nice way, or maybe it was a relief that it ended early. But welcome along anyway. Thanks for coming. Ariella Cahan Hearth says, would you rather play Iago or Cassio? Definitely Iago. Definitely Iago. Yeah, what a fantastic role that would be to play. Raging Devit says, is walking around with an umbrella in St Andrews easier than walking around with one in Edinburgh? No, it's harder. The wind in St Andrews is vicious because it's right on the coast. It is cold, very, very cold, and windy, which is just how I like it. It's just how I love it. Oh, cool. Christopher Smith says, I've just sent a message again. Well, I'll refresh that. When we get to your question, Chris, I'll answer it on the stream for you. Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, because you go by a different name on Patreon than you do here. Hang on a minute, Chris. I answered this on the last stream. It was the one about democracy and demagoguery. I talked about this on the last stream, Chris. Are you trying to get a cheeky double question in? I already talked about this. But I'll tell you what. Let's read it out anyway, just to see what you had to say. Since you went to the effort of retyping it. Here's my question. Thank you so much, you're the bestest. I personally view democracy in democratic institutions as a system of demagoguery, where the politicians revel in fear-mongering and popularity to get elected. Trump. Not only this, but even a perfect democracy is inherently flawed, as those who don't know how to rule or what's best for the state get a voice. Ooh, that's an interesting critique. There's a reason people don't tell surgeons how to do their job. They're told what needs to be done and it's done. Do you agree? I think there's definitely criticisms of democracy that you could make. That sounded pretty ominous. For instance, again, this book about anarchism I've just been reading, there are some anarchists who say that like you can't do representative democracy. It's like inherently a form of tyranny, and you need to have direct democracy, which I think is like an interesting and illuminating point of view. Like, sort of prompts some interesting reflections at least, which is kind of cool. I mean, I think like. I don't think your comparison to like surgery is really apt, because with surgery there is like often a clear goal and a pretty clearly defined. I mean, I'm thinking of like so like endocrine surgery rather than, you know, some more controversial forms of surgery I know, but like there's a clearly defined body of expertise, whereas like managing a state isn't really like managing a body, because you've got a lot of like different people and conflicting interests. So I'm not really following your analogy there, and I think that to make that kind of analogy is potentially to go down a different road. I mean, you mentioned Mussolini in your question, and yeah, so he was bad. He was a bad one. Pretty uncontroversial, I think, to say. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I tend to agree with you a whole lot there. But Kit Thornton, thank you for your super chat, says, when I was looking at the statue of Giordano Bruno in the Campo di Fiore recently, I noticed you resemble him strongly. I've never seen you together. Well, Kit, I don't know who that is, but thanks very much, and I hope he's good looking. If I look like him. Ooh, somebody who's just let's just scroll past so fast that I missed it. Says, have you thought about doing a video with Mexi? I have. I've been watching a lot of Mexi stuff recently because I've got an idea for a video that I might want her input on, but I don't quite know. I've got a cool idea for the format, but I don't quite know what it's going to be yet. So I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Amelia Jane, thank you for your second super chat of the night, I think. Says, I'm watching university lectures on Kant's Critique of Pure Reason. I can't thank you enough for getting me out of my I'm not smart enough phase. Well, I'm really glad that I could help you with that. I mean, that's great. Like, I want philosophy to be available to everybody, because, you know, it's better when we do it as a team sport. So I'm really glad I could help with that. Yeah. Patty Lank says Olly should do a master's in political science. Oh no, I don't need any more master's degrees. I've got 2 already. I don't need any more. Don't need any more degrees. I'm fine. I'm all good. Yeah. Jack Watts says, Olly, I'm looking to get into philosophy, but I'm very intimidated by all of the jargon and academic language involved, as I don't have an academic background, and to be frank, I'm a bit dim. Well, don't sell yourself short, Jack. Like, I'm sure you know. Not all philosophy has to be very jargon heavy. I admit that, like, it can be very, like any academic discipline, it can be pretty jargon heavy. But I found that, like, a little bit like Shakespeare, it, like, takes a while. But I found anyway, once I sort of got into it. It also depends what kind of philosophy you do. Like, some some of the stuff that's being written now, especially the philosophy of global justice, is pretty accessible. I mean, yeah, when people start talking about like the Hofeldian analysis of human rights and so on, it can be a bit like overwhelming because that takes its own sort of time to explain. But I think you get the hang of it, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah, give yourself a chance. You might like it. You'll be using the jargon before you know it. Xena B says your degrees are in history and philosophy, right, Ollie? No, they're in philosophy and acting. Acting was my second master's. A delicious buttery dong. What a name and what a picture. That's Michael from Vsauce. Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. Says my teacher played a philosophy tube video in our lesson the other week, and I was practically screaming. Which one was it? Was it the transphobia one? Probably can't play that. Christopher Smith, thank you for your super chat again. Says thanks so much. You're the best. I wanted something a little bit more abstract. Oh well, my pleasure. I'm glad to have answered your question. Fabio Nozaki says thank you for being awesome. Thank you for your super chat, Fabio. That's very, very kind of you. Ooh, Ariella Kahan Half says, are there any musicals you like? Yeah, Sunday in the Park with George is a nice musical. Finishing the hat, looking through the world of the hat like a window, back from this one to that. I love that song. Parade is a hell of a musical as well. Oh, that's good. I played Leo Frank in a short extract from Parade at drama school. That's really, really, music in that's really good. Why don't you come up to my office? What is it? Come up to my office, got a couple of things you might like to see. Dun-dun-dun. If you could maybe slip by, honey, we don't have to know, but you and me, that you came to my office. I love that. Seymour O says, what's your astrological sign? None of them are real, so... Yeah, none of them are real, so don't worry about it. Try and guess. Epic Shish Kebab says, I can feel my self-esteem increasing from hanging on this stream. Well, I'm glad. That's really great. That's definitely something to strive for, I think. That's too personal, I won't tell you that, but I know what it's like to have issues with self-esteem. So I'm really glad that I can help you out with yours, and it helps me out with mine as well. I like doing it. Oh my God! Ronan Webber says, "Can you send well wishes my way for a show? I'm playing Frankenfurter tonight and would like the blessing of another actor." I am so freaking jealous that you are playing Frank. Oh my God, Ronan! Break a leg. Like, that is a role I would love to play. As I said earlier on the stream, like I watched Rocky Horror the other night. Not for the first time, I've seen it before, but like what a role, what a show. You're gonna smash it, Ronan. You're gonna absolutely smash it. Like that's gonna be a tough role as well, because I mean, even to play it in the film, I imagine is like exhausting. But like Frank's as soon as Frank comes in, like he's in like the whole rest of the show and like has big numbers and has to carry like a lot of stuff. So. That's a challenging role. If they've cast you in it, like clearly they think you're up to it. So, yeah, break a leg, Ronan. Let us know how it goes. Like, go for it. Just hang loose and have fun. You'll be great. I would love to play that role so much. Someday. Keep the beard around for that. That'd be fun. I've actually seen Tim Curry live. Not in Rocky Horror Picture Show, sadly. I saw him in Spamalot when he was King Arthur live in London. He was really good. We're lost here in this very expensive forest. That was really good. What happens in Camelot stays in Camelot. So good. A Week in Budapest. Thank you for your super chat. Says, have you ever read The Daughter of Time by Josephine Tay? Might give an interesting hook for a history video. I've never read it. But thank you very much for the recommendation. Yes. People are guessing my astrology sign in the chat. I mean, you won't Like you've now guessed like all of them, so you've got like a 1 in 12 chance, 14 chance. Yeah. Whoa! Kit Thornton says they played Eddie and Dr. Scott for 21 weeks straight. Whoa! Wow, what a duo. Damn. I never thought about those two characters doubling up. But yeah, I guess that does make sense. That does make sense. Yeah. Santa Peterson says, will you ever play your sax on stream sometime? The sax is in the north, it's in Newcastle, and also it's like really loud. So I think in here you just get so much room noise from it that there'd probably be no point. Yeah. But so probably not, but I mean I'm glad that you like I'm glad that you I'm glad that you enjoyed it. A delicious buttery dong who had my video played in their class says it was an earlier one of mine about Kant. Oh, I must have been really young looking in that, right? Was it the one that filmed in YouTube space when I was like didn't have the beard yet? I must have been young. Bull Daddy. People are guessing Taurus and say Bull Daddy. Wow. A literal horny boy. Well. I see. It's cheating for you to guess my sign anyway, because my birthday's on my Twitter bio. So you could just look it up. But every live stream we do, I seem to get to be some different kind of daddy. A couple of ones we had a while ago, it was leather cuddle daddy, because I wore a leather jacket and talked about how much I like cuddling. And I guess this one it's bull daddy. So okay. But here's the thing. So well done to everyone who guessed Taurus. You had a 1 in 12 chance. But the thing is, my brother is also Taurus, and he's very, very different from me. In fact, if you find, not just in appearance, but in personality as well, if you find the young white guy who looks the least like me, you will have found my brother, my middle brother. The eldest one does look a lot like me, or rather I look like him, I suppose. So, but yeah. So, like, clearly there's a lot of variation even within star signs. Assuming they're even real, which they're not. So I don't put any stock in it. Rob Hebert, thank you for your super chat. Let's get back on track and out of the stars. Any thoughts on gender and magic in the Earthsea books? I have never read them, and therefore have no thoughts on it. Oh, somebody said, is the leather jacket still here? Yeah. Do you want me to get it out? Yeah, okay. Hang on a second. I'll get the jacket. Whoops. Whoop. Is that gonna stay? Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Every other stream, this seems to come out. There you go. Boom. Nice. That's better. More Tim Curry impressions and more singing. TNTHSM says, Hbomb guy is your brother? No, he's not. He's not. That would be fun, but no, he's not. No, my brother's a stand-up comic. One of them is. The other one's a doctor. Oh my god, more super chats. So generous tonight. Ethan, what differentiates fascism from the reactionary capitalism under Bismarck? I haven't studied much Bismarckian history, so I couldn't tell you, I'm afraid. I suppose, I mean, I've said before that... Hang on a second. I said before that fascism is more of a sliding scale than a binary. But yeah. I'm kind of glad that the weather's getting cold now, because I can wear this more. But yeah. I'm glad that people like the leather jacket. It's a very horny chat tonight because we're all the because we're all the people who don't have dates or have gotten back from their dates. You look like a vampire rock and roller. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, this jacket doesn't fit anymore. I've said that on stream before. I can't do it up anymore. Thank you for the fan service. Well, that's what the streams are all about, Olly. I'm really glad. Should I take this off now? Because it's quite warm in here. Oh, Indigo Boy says he has a date in 2 hours. Oh, well, good luck. Lucky you. There we go. Oh my god, the chat's going wild. I tell you what, it's getting pretty late over here. I'm pretty tired, so I'll probably do like 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, and then check out. Have a cup of tea and go to bed. So yeah, let's relax. Amelia Jane says we're quintessentially thirsty. Evidently. You thirsty people. You've already all, if you've seen the witchcraft video, you've already all seen me with my shirt off. So I don't know why. Everyone's so keen. But no, I'm not taking my shirt off on stream. That's happened once before on the Forbidden stream, and I didn't see penny one of the super chats from that. So let's not do that again. That was after a lot of booze and some very generous super chatters on the Forbidden stream. I did take most of my shirt off on that. That's no longer archived. Not Haruka says, buy yourself a chocolate orange. It's a date now. I would, but I'm trying to eat less chocolate so that I can get in better shape. There's another super chat. Hey Ollie, something I was wondering is if you ever feel imposter syndrome when researching and making videos. Also, leather jacket equals hot damn. Imposter syndrome. I mean, that's, to me, that description of it doesn't really resonate, but sometimes I'm like, oi, I'm gonna run out of ideas, or oh no, what's the next thing gonna be? But then I just get over it. I just remember that I try and just follow the curiosity. Like, what am I just think, like, what am I curious about? Or I'm like, well, there's this, but it's weird. And I'm like, well, follow the weird. So I just try and stick to the curiosity, I guess. And that helps me get through it. Because we're down to the last 5 minutes, everyone's going to start super chatting to get their questions in. Kit Thornton, thank you for your super chat, says fascism isn't a philosophy or an ideology, it's a tactic, a strategy for getting power, and part of that strategy is to avoid consistent ideology. Well, I would agree that it's definitely inconsistent in places, but you know, a lot of ideologies are inconsistent in places, so it looks sort of uniquely fascist. But I will admit that tactics definitely go hand in hand with it. Name now private, thank you for your super chat as well. Any plays you've read recently that you recommend, says Tanner Frost. It's been a while since I read any. It's been a while since I went to see any, actually. Though I am going to go and see Romeo and Juliet, the new RSC Romeo and Juliet soon. Going to be the press night for that. Oh yeah, that'll be cool. So, yeah. Scaladra Man says, any makeup tips or recommendations? Yeah, moisturize first. I learned that the hard way. Yeah, moisturize. That's fun. Do that. And yeah. I mean, I had never worn eyeshadow except for in that witchcraft video before tonight. It's the first time I've ever put it on, like, recreationally, which I think it's like a little rough, but you know, it's fun. Might as well use it up, you know. If anyone's going to appreciate it, it's the chat. This music's a little sad. Maybe I'll just skip ahead, Zoe, to the next track. Let's have In a Harp, and then we'll have Walking in the Rain, and then we'll end it. I like to end the stream with Walking in the Rain because it's a real nice track. Allegria Peter says, "Hey, my friend wanted me to tell you that you're one of the reasons he realised he was bi." Well, I'm really glad I could help him with that. That was flattering. Thank you. Seymour O, thank you for your super chat. Says astrology might be fake, but I'm gay, so it's allowed. Cool. Yeah, whatever you want to do. Oh, thank you to the people who said that the eyeshadow looks good, even though it's the first time. Well, I suppose you're only going to see it on camera and not in full resolution, and also in some very flattering light, which is why we have this. Well, I'm glad that it went down well anyway. If you're going to do eyeshadow, put a little bit of concealer on first, and then the eyeshadow, because it just helps it get like a smoother thing. So I've been told. I watched some eyeshadow videos and was like, sounds like a good tip. I'll do that. Chateauant76, thank you for your super chat. Says, I'm loving your work so far. Any thoughts on the philosophy of Wittgenstein and its potential political use for the left? Never thought about applying Wittgenstein to the left. If you have any sources for that, though, do send them to me. Scaladro Man says, thank you for your super chat, says, this money's going towards that super technical meta-ethics video you said you'd make in another stream. I have made no progress on that, Scaladro Man. I'm sorry. Maybe I should. But I need to find a way of making it interesting for myself, Scaladro Man. And as yet, I haven't. Or at least, I'm not as curious about it as I am about other things, and I try and follow the curiosity. I'm curious at the moment about authenticity and acting and what it is to be authentic on stage and what it is to be authentic on YouTube, and I'm writing a video about about that, which kind of reflects that. It's a fun three-way interrogation of me. It's based on Martin McDonagh's play The Pillow Man, if you've seen that. So yeah, that'll be fun. And Tom Robinson, thank you for your super chat again, says you've made a long day of capitalist slavery better. Well, I'm glad, Tom. I'm glad I could make it better. Friday night chats are always just the horniest, aren't they? Because it's everyone... It is everyone who didn't get a date, including me. Tony Campbell says, do you smoke or have you ever? Yeah, I started smoking when I was like 12. And I gave it up when I was about 17 because I actually saw a double lung transplant on a 16-year-old girl, and the lungs going in had come from a smoker. So I actually saw a smoker's lungs and what they looked like, and I never touched a cigarette after that. After then, I gave it up. Tell you what, let's just for the last few minutes, let's put the jacket back on, just for a bit of fan service, because you all liked it. Has this been undone the entire time? Did you not? You didn't tell me. Sorry. Let's put this back on for the end. I'll put on Zoe, my favourite song by Zoe, and turn it up a little bit. So we'll finish off with this. Now the chat's going too fast for me to read. Somebody's super chat flew past so fast. Said, "Do you have any Russian literature that you'd recommend?" Vladimir Nabokov's Arda, if you have the stomach for it, is certainly pretty moving. It's interesting. Poses an interesting question. And then I enjoyed Anna Karenina. It's drags in places, but it's decent. Yeah. Well, thank you to everyone for coming along to the stream. Let's cut the super chats there. I won't answer anymore. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. Okay, Jack Watts, you're the last one. Thank you. Thanks for cheering me up today. Well, Jack, I'm glad we could cheer you up. Everyone wish Jack a happy evening. Good luck to everyone who has a date later, or who has been on a date tonight. Oh, who has dates in future? Lucky you. It's fine. No, honestly, it's fine. It's been a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you, everyone, for coming along. Yeah, this has been a fun stream. Thanks for complimenting the eyeshadow. That was just something I did for the sheer crack. Happy evening, Jack, says everyone in the chat. Wonderful, Jack. I'm really glad for you. Oh, got a message. Oh, it's from Fiona. As in Riley's partner, Fiona. Did you send me a video? Well, I'll watch that later. Good night, everyone. It's been a pleasure. And I'll see you in the next stream as soon as I figure out how to actually end the stream, because it's always in a different window. Okay. Good night.